Marie was always cautious, living a life of routines. As a freelance graphic designer, she rarely interacted with people outside of work, only seeing friends occasionally. She felt a sense of safety in her controlled regimen. Then, one day, she received an email from a client, asking to meet in person. This wasn't unusual, but what unnerved her was the email's tone. It was overly familiar, almost as if the person knew intimate details about her life. Brushing it off as nothing, she agreed to the meeting. When she arrived at the cafe, no one showed up. Confused, she checked the email thread again, but the email was gone. Not in the inbox, not in trash, just gone. She thought it was a glitch and dismissed it. Over the next few days, her life fell back into routine, until small disruptions began creeping in. Her packages started arriving opened. The food in her fridge was moved. Her phone had a call history she didn't recognize, numbers she'd never dialed and contacts she did not recall adding. Marie convinced herself she was just being forgetful, maybe working too hard. But she couldn't shake the growing paranoia. She changed her passwords and moved on. Then the text started. They were anonymous, vague, and eerie. You looked stressed at the grocery store today. The red coat suits you, Marie. They would come sporadically, always after she had been out. No name, no way to reply. Panicked, she told her friends, but they dismissed it as spam or a prank. This went on for not very long until one night, Marie returned home to find her apartment's door slightly ajar. The apartment was dark, and the air felt wrong, like someone had been there. She hesitated at the entrance but mustered the courage to enter. Everything seemed untouched, no signs of break-in. Yet, when she went to her bedroom, a chill ran down her spine. Her closet door was open, and there, on her bed, was a photograph of her, sitting at her desk, taken from outside her apartment window. Terrified, she called the police, but there were no fingerprints, no trace of intrusion. The investigator dismissed it as a prank, someone playing a twisted joke. Marie couldn't sleep that night, every noise in the dark amplifying her dread. She locked her door and settled in, trying to shake off the anxiety that still lingered. Around midnight, as she lay in bed, she heard a faint tapping sound coming from the living room window. Her heart raced. The tapping became more persistent, and then, silence. She slowly got out of bed and tiptoed to the living room, clutching her phone. Through the dark, she saw it. The window latch had been tampered with, barely holding in place. Before she could react, her phone buzzed. She glanced down. A message. I'm inside. Panicking, she backed up, her breath shallow. Then, out of the corner of her eye, she saw it, standing in the doorway of the kitchen, watching her. The shadowed figure didn't move, didn't speak. Marie didn't scream. She didn't run. Instead, she raised her phone, and with a steady voice, calmly spoke into it. I see him. The figure hesitated, unsure of her next move. They're waiting for you, she continued, even the greatest criminal must face Judgment Day. The police never left, they've been outside waiting for you. Her eyes never left the shadow. Suddenly, the figure bolted, crashing through the back window in a frenzy, disappearing into the night. The sound of shattering glass filled the apartment. The police uncovered chilling discoveries on searching the house. Hidden cameras, discreetly planted in her living room, bedroom, and even her bathroom. Marie realized then that this wasn't just a random stalker. She had been watched for weeks, maybe even months, her life on display like a twisted surveillance project. Whoever had done this was meticulous, careful to cover their tracks. But Marie was no longer the same incautious, passive person she had been. She moved, again. But this time, she made sure to arm herself, security systems, locks, cameras. She took self-defense classes. She was going to be ready if it ever happened again. They can try, but no one would ever catch her off guard again.